Hi there, my name is Joey Chandler, and today I want to talk to you about something that I really believe in, something I think makes a huge difference in the world, and that is community. And it's building community. And I'm not talking about community like your Facebook community or getting more names on your email list. I'm talking about real world connections, making a better connection with the people that you see in the parks, people that you see when you drop off your kids at school, people in your grocery store, your neighbors, building those connections. Because as amazing as technology is, I think it's fair to say that we're also getting pulled in so many different directions that those intimate connections and really heartfelt and enlivening connections with our neighbors are going away a little bit. And so I have three things that I want to tell you about to build community, and I'm actually standing here in front of a great big old steamroller here, and there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a second. But my three things about community that if you do these will help build community, I believe, anywhere. So the first thing is that whatever actions you take to build your community, that you got to be consistent with it, and you got to be consistent with it over time. And I wish there was a safer way, an easier way to do it, but honestly, you just got to be consistent. And the reason for that is that you're competing with all those other things, social media, television, family, PTO, ballet class, little league practice, soccer practice, all those different things. You're competing with people's time. So if you want them to come together, you want them to build the habit of doing it, you have to have something that's consistent. I learned this, and I believe it to my bones, because 5 years ago I moved to a new town. I didn't know anyone. My 5-year-old son was just in preschool. My wife was commuting to a job, and I was working on the house, and so we didn't have a lot of connections with our neighbors. And we really loved this town, but I knew that if something didn't happen, it could be years before I really built strong connections. So I had this idea: we're going to have a potluck. And we're going to have people come together, and I just had the notion that if we all came together on a regular basis and we shared some food and shared some drink and laughed, then that would help. That would allow me to meet people and have fun and get to know each other. And so we did that. Started that 5 years ago, and every Thursday between April and November for the past 5 years, we've had a community potluck here. It ranges between 10 and 30 families. It's always different. It's always new. It's people come. The rules are super, super simple. You show up. You bring as much or as little food as you like. Some days you cook something awesome. Other days it's like half a bag of chips and a half a bottle of wine, because that's all you can muster. And what has happened is that we've formed these amazing relationships with people, and that have formed up over time, and they're deep and they're meaningful. And we have single mothers who bring their kids, and the community takes care of the kids while that mom, just has a moment and a break and a glass of wine and relaxes. We have the kids have formed friendships that they probably wouldn't have, because everything is so regimented these days. But this is potlucks where everyone comes together. And that all happened because of consistency. You got to be consistent. Second thing, you got to invite people. I talk to so many people who and they tell me about their community efforts, and where they fall down is they simply stopped inviting people. You need to invite people all the time, and not just you, but you want to make it a safe place where everybody can invite everybody. So in our potlucks, I invite people, they invite people, they invite people, and what happens is that we form this really great matrix, and you want to have all these different connections and people coming for different reasons and knowing different people, because that makes a really interesting and energetic community. It's not just one group of people. So you got to be consistent and make lots of invitations. And the third thing, and this was honestly the hardest thing for me, is that you got to focus on the positive side of things. You can't build community on the negative side. See, like if I had gone out and really focused on how hard it is for people to come and like, it's after work and the kids are exhausted and they're cranky and it's hard to get food together every Thursday and all those different things, it wouldn't have worked. But I focused on the positive. And I had even a better example of this, and the reason why I'm standing here in front of this equipment is that our basketball court was completely thrashed. You couldn't play on it. The roots had buckled everything, and it wasn't safe. So I went to the city and I said, hey, can you guys repave this? And it's not safe. And they agreed. They're like, you're right, it's not safe. And they put it onto the pile of things to do, and nothing happened. But this year I had an idea. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go out, and what I did was I asked people not is the basketball safe, but what would it mean if it was repaved? What would it mean to their family? And the kids were like, oh, we'd be able to play here. I'd be able to work on my game. I had kids dribbling, and the parents were like, oh, it would be great. I feel safe sending my kids down here. Maybe I'd come down and lose a few pounds. And this one dad said this amazing. He said, my daughter loves basketball, and we don't have any place for her to go and play. So if you could repave the court, she could come down, work on her game, and maybe make her middle school basketball team. And that would just mean the world to her. So please repave it for her. And we put all these clips together and we showed the video, and it was just really, it made for this really emotional city meeting, which doesn't happen normally. And the video got passed around different places, and they repaved it. And I'm so excited to actually say that, like, now we're standing here. This is the equipment they're using to repave the court right now. So and so that worked because I was focused on the positive side. So if you want to work on community, 3 things: be consistent, make lots of invitations, and be positive. My name is Joey Chandler. If you have any questions, please find me on Facebook or Twitter. Look forward to hearing from you, and you have a great day.